right. Boosie shared his thoughts on a rite of passage for 16-year-olds. Watch this clip of the Dineva Project.
I don't want to put him in an area where they're like, no, there's actually more than two genders. And they're going to try to convince him to believe this lie that isn't true.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's up to a father to do that. You know, as a father, we got to be more hands-on. We got to be more hands-on with raising our kids and letting them know what's right. By the time they 16, you got to be pushing people. You got to be pushing pussy. When they 15, you got to start sending them to the movies with the girl.
All right. What do you have to say about this, Al?
That man's ridiculousness. Y'all know I keep saying this over and over. To me, Boosie, whatever his name is reality TV gold. I think someone, and if you mark my words, remember I told you here, within the next 6 months, Boosie will have a reality television, and he'll have that reality television show because of this ridiculousness that he's constantly preaching. He is in full stride with his brand. He understands his brand, and he makes sure every interview that he does, he says something that is really a reach. And he knows it's a reach because he has kids that are in the LGBTQ plus community to create more conversation in the community that he serves and the people that listen to him. This hypermasculinity behavior, though, for me, I find is absolutely way too much. Personally, that's for me. But I do like the fact that Boosie does preach being there, being present with his kids during those years between the ages of 14 and 17. I think that's pivotal.
Cooking Bitch 123 says, why do people keep asking Boosie questions? He's weird. Okay, Q, what do you have to say about what he had to say?
Al, you give him absolutely too much credit. I don't even think Boosie has an understanding of what a brand is, period. I think this is truly what he thinks, and it's just sheer street, poor, poverty-stricken ignorance. You know what I'm saying? If it's good for the goose, it must be good for the gander. You know, you just say, yeah, he has a child in the LGBTQ community, but it's a girl. And we know historically that black men who are homophobic or just men, period, tend to be more all right with women being lesbian, but the attacks always come on the men. I'd be curious to know, you know, would you have that same advice for your 15-year-old daughter? Would you want to push P on them at 15, or would you push D on them, your daughter at 15? You're saying send them to the movies with the girls, but then does that apply to your daughter? Do you want somebody to send their son to the movie with your daughter so that she can be the person that they're knocking off? It just troubles me because you're right, hypermasculinity and all the other things that are out here killing black men. Y'all are so worried about them being damn gay. Y'all are so damn worried about them being exposed to the notion that sexuality is a spectrum, or that may possibly be more than one gender. You know, whether you believe it or not, that's fine and well, but at least educate yourself to the point to know that attraction is not based on exposure. All right. I was not exposed to anything gay. I grew up I'm an 80s baby. I grew up in the inner city, Miami. Everybody was homophobic, and somehow or another, I still managed to turn out to be gay. And I had my daddy in my life. So please explain it. It's not, you don't become gay through osmosis. All right. You don't become gay through exposure. You don't become gay through obtaining knowledge about gay stuff. You're just gay because the Lord made you that way. You were born that doggone way. And I wish Boosie would move on from this topic. And it really, at first, it was a joke for me when I'd be like, oh, you know, he must be fighting something, or something must have happened to him. But I can say this, Quentin Antoine Latham, unequivocally believe that either Boosie was touched or harmed by someone in a homosexual manner, or he sees something in a gay man that he hates in himself. And that is why he is always writing this topic.
I'm going to say this. I know what you just said about, you know, if it was a girl, it'd be different and with black men. And that's usually the case. But in this case, I think Boosie hates his gay daughter equally because he kicked her out. He had definitely showed her, to me, in my opinion, showed her no grace and no special treatment. I just think he gets a lot of attention when he says these things. Look at us covering him once again. I never spoke so much about Boosie until he started doing this. Like, he became trending every single week. We're talking about it. We're so outraged and stuff. It's not outrageous anymore. It's just who he is. That's what he talks about.
Doesn't he have a gay assistant?
I don't know.
His personal assistant is gay.
That virtual.
Okay.
And the gays are always fine, just as long as we're being somebody's tool or instrument. But y'all, we got to go to break anyway. Enough of Boosie.